Are you stuck? What about unhappy? Join Alena Chapman, author, mentor, and life coach for 30-minute moments as she challenges you to get out of the doldrum and start living your life to the fullest. It's time to celebrate that life with 30-minute moments.
Welcome to 30-Minute Moments, and I'm your host, Alena Chapman. And as you know, this show is always about the ease and betterment in your life, because without that, we don't want that hard stuff, do we? So today I have been thinking, and I don't know who was sending it out to me, because it was so strong, everything. I mean, from the time I got up this morning, I was hearing this thing about fear. So that is one of the main things I am giving as a gift this wonderful season, because I want to reach this person, whoever is, or maybe it's a bunch of people who are sending out this fear feeling. I am going to talk about that in today's Ask Alena. And yes, we do get a mass consciousness, folks. We do, if we really listen and we learn to listen to more than just the noise in our lives, then all of a sudden you'll start to get ideas that other people get. There's a mass consciousness. In fact, believe it or not, science is showing that consciousness is actually outside of ourselves. And that's why I say, when you are actively present in your life, in the moment, actively noticing things, that is when you are highly conscious. And when you're highly conscious, you are out here. And that's when divinity or spirit can touch you. That's when the ideas start coming. That's when things start flowing. But if you're always thinking about the future, or worried about the past, or busy thinking of the to-do list, you're not there. Okay? But I want to answer the questions that came in first, and then we'll come back to fear, because you guys are asking incredible questions. I just love this. All right. The very first question is, I am having a hard time discovering things that feed my spirit. Oh, and then she or he says, is something wrong with me? No, never, ever, ever is anything wrong with you. You are perfect in every part of you. So no, there isn't. It's just a new discovery. And I love that you're asking this, feeding your spirit. You know, when we were kids, we didn't worry about this. We fed our spirit. We got up in the morning and we said, oh my gosh, what am I going to do today? Oh, I got school. And if you were like me, you thought, all right, but I'm going to get to see my friends. I'm going to tease the boys. I am going to have fun. And yes, Sister Helen does not want me to hum when I do my math, but darn it, I'm going to hum when I do my math. And that was me as a little girl. And I did what I wanted, and everything from talking to my friends, playing cops and robbers, teasing the boys and running behind all the girls. All these fun things that I did fed my spirit. Fun, that childlike fun and discovery feeds the spirit. That's one thing. So what is it that lights your fire? Maybe it's, I've started taking a pottery class. I'm going to keep doing that. I love it. I'm going to join a jazzercise class, because Lord knows I need the exercise. But on top of that, I think to dance and also burn those calories, that's going to be fun. And the people I'm going to meet. What is it that just feeds your spirit in the fun category? What is fun for you? Okay? Fun, we discount fun in our lives. We think, we're all grown up. We can't have fun. But, or we think the only kind of fun we can have is when we go out drinking. And yeah, that's fun, but not really, because half of it you're not conscious. And the other half, you have a hangover the next morning. So is that really fun? But talking with the friends, that's fun. Getting deeper with friends, that's fun. Doing things together, that's fun. Think of things that you love to do. Maybe you like to sled. Maybe you like to ice skate. Maybe you like to swim. Whatever it is, it's getting into that rhythm of the fun. That's the first thing. And you'll find that you start laughing easier. Listening to funny things on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, movies, funny movies. That feeds your soul and it's fun. So that's the fun category. But you can also start feeding your soul. Number 2, in ways of how am I enriching my knowledge for my soul? What am I reading? There's a lot of YouTube videos out there, a ton. Pick some. All these things you listen to. I was telling my son the other day, I said, if you listen to stuff that only tears down, the critics, there's a ton of those on YouTube and everywhere else. If you only listen to things that tear down, well, just feel that heaviness of what I just said. And it gives you no option. We destroy everything. We destroy the movie. We destroy the philosophy. We destroy the old belief. But what are we building? And I was just telling my son, because my youngest, who's 14, he loves those YouTube videos. He loves to listen to all the critics, the so-called critical analysis. And critical analysis is good as to see what the problem may be. But what's the solution? Give me something to go forward in my life. So if you're going to listen to something like that, which a lot of the younger generation really does, and there's nothing wrong with that, but look for the ones that now offer something, or look for something that solves the problem that you just created in the video. That feeds your soul. It's the solution that feeds the soul. You can call it almost like a redemption, because it's giving you hope. It's hope that feeds the soul, not destroying. So see what you're listening to and also music. Because music can be very strong. Wagner, that's a classical composer that is very, very powerful. Do you know that Hitler actually enlisted him to do all the music to his speeches? And when he had when he was talking to the public, that he would have Wagner's music. Why? Because Wagner's music was so emotional. And he could bring you up and he could bring you down. He used Greek modes. He used everything in it. And Hitler knew that would affect how the people listened to him. Interesting, isn't it? And yet, what do we listen to every day? What do we turn on? Do we turn on the things that always bring us down? Or do we listen to incredible music that makes us want to dance in the car, just raises our spirit? That's feeding our spirit. What we listen to, the conversations we have, again. So there are different ways. And then the third way is to take time for you, really to start looking at nourishing you. How do you nourish you? And yeah, I know there's a spa day and all that's fun. I think of that as more as maintenance. But how do I nourish myself? Am I taking a wonderful walk on a snowy afternoon? Am I listening to the owls? Am I enriching my relationships with people? When I'm talking to them, am I really looking in their eyes and seeing how they feel, who they are? And when you do that, it helps you. It helps you to get a clarity and an understanding about yourself. These are 3 incredibly strong ways to start feeding your spirit. And don't try to conquer it all at once. I'm big on the baby steps. You know that. This holiday season, everybody should watch What About Bob? I'm serious. It is funny. It'll fill that fun category. And you but the baby steps, just do one at a time. Do like one every 3 days. Do one, solidify it in 3 days, and then add another one. Get that one dish spinning in the air, then spin the other one. And pretty soon you'll have days where you're feeding your spirit, and it will change your life, my dear. It will change your life. I absolutely adore your question. So thank you, and never, ever stop yourself from asking questions, and never think anything's wrong with you. In fact, you probably enlightened millions of people with that question. So thank you very much. You are listening to 30-Minute Moments. I'm your host, Alena Chapman, and today is Ask Alena. We'll be right back.
You're listening to 30-Minute Moments with Alena Chapman, helping you discover your true purpose on WOWO and at WOWO.com.
Welcome back to 30-Minute Moments, and I'm your host, Alena Chapman, and today is Ask Alena. So I love Ask Alena because you know what? When you ask questions, I know that you're really trying to get that ease and betterment in your life, and it's bringing you into thinking about how am I going to incorporate this? How am I going to make my life easier, more in the flow and better? So, if you have questions that you want to ask, please don't stop yourself. Just text 46862. That goes right to the show. And then put for Alena or something on there so that they know that it's my show and not somebody else's show, which could be interesting. But again, that number is 46862. All right? We have another awesome question. It says, Alena, I have been working really hard as a business coach. I love that. On the side. And the project is something I truly love, but I am not making any money. I seem to be having a hard time curating. I love that. Curating paying clients. What would you do? Oh, my dear, I so totally hear you. Because it's very hard when you're starting out. And I take it you said on the side, so it means you have a job that you're getting some money in, which is really good, and I wouldn't stop that. But I also know you tend to rely on that for the money. So when this person comes up to you and says, I really need your help, but I can't pay you a darn dime, in the very back of your mind, you're saying, well, I have a job. I can cover this. Don't do that anymore. All right? And I'm really... all the wonderful non-paying clients that you have, I've got some ideas for you, all right? First of all the non-paying, make sure you're getting testimonials and get them written and also in videos, and design 3 questions that you can give them to really get a good testimonial, because at least they can do that for you, all right? Especially if they've seen results. So that's number 1. Also, it is time to start getting clients that make money, that have some money that can pay you. It's very important because people have to feel vested in what they're doing. If I'm taking something free, there are a few that really do care and will follow everything you say. But it's very easy to push it aside because it's free. But if they are paying for something, then they become vested in wanting to improve. And that's you don't want to not allow them to do that. So even if they're going free, there's something that they have to do to be vested in this so that you're not wasting your time and they're not wasting theirs. All right? Now, let's talk about you. There's a universal law. It's called the law of compensation. And I would really start there. First of all, it's getting the idea and wanting to step forward into the idea. You did that. That's a check. There you go. And is it something people need? Again, check. You did that. The second thing is, what is your ability to give the knowledge or gain the knowledge? And I think it's a 2 thing. You should always be learning more and more and more, but also you have the knowledge and you seem to be having success with the clients you have. So there, another check. That's 2 out of the 3. Now the third one is important. And this is the one that I want you to do a little homework on. And that is, what makes me indispensable? And that is such a funny question because we have been taught that we are not indispensable. But I'll give you a quick story on that one because this will poof that belief right out of the water. When I was having a meeting in the coffee shop with my assistant, a young man in his 20s came up to me, and I soon recognized him to be one of my old students from one of my choirs when I was teaching in the universities in the area. And he said, Mrs. Chapman, I really want to talk to you. I said, oh my gosh, Gabe, I'm so happy to see you. I said, what are you doing now? He said, I'm teaching music at one of the local churches. I said, that's fantastic. He said, are you still doing music? And I said, no, hon, I've moved on. I've written a book. I'm doing all this. And he said, "Oh, but you don't understand." I said, "I don't understand what?" He said, "You were transitional for all of us. Do you know 3/4 of your choir went into music?" That brought tears to my eyes. And it showed me something very important, that we are not replaceable, because how we touch people's lives, only we can do. And so when we touch people's lives, be it a business coach, being a choir conductor, being a spiritual thought leader, we really have to know, what gifts are we giving? What makes us so special and unique? And it can be simply how much we really care, or it could be something that we do that's different than all the others. And it's not just for making you different from the rest, which it does, but it gives you the time to really think about, what is my most powerful gift? Why am I doing this? What do I have to offer that is my purpose? And you will find that's what makes you the indispensable. And that has to come before anything. That should be the first thing you do in any business. Okay? So once you get through that, then we talk about our blocks on this. Why do we think we can't have people who are paying money? Why is it that I am just getting people who are just starting out and don't have money? What is my curriculum that I have that is only set for this target audience? And if I want this target audience, I've got to do some research and figure out, and figure out, what do they need? So if I want a successful business, and I want a business that is looking to do a quantum leap, or is doing really well but is having some organizational problems or some growth problems, then what do I need to change my ads, change my messaging to attract those people? Do you see? Because right now you seem to be for startups, or for people who don't have money, or people claiming bankruptcy. So it's changing your messaging, but that will all happen once you figure out what makes you indispensable. So those are two things I would start with. And you can always, that's a very good start. When you get that done, you are always free to contact me. Go to soulmanifesto.com and say, "Hey, Alena," because on the contact page, say, "Hey, Alena, I was the one who was the business coach. I'd be happy to talk with you." Okay? So we can talk even further. But if you can get those two things really going, changing your messaging for the target market that you want, and really finding out why are you in this? What makes you indispensable? So that years down, you'll see that you had a ripple effect through this whole business and helped so many people because of that. Okay? I hope that helps. You know, it's funny. We choose our professions. We have these things because our hearts and our souls are so thrilled with what we have learned. And we want so much to help other people because we want to bring that ease and betterment into their life. It makes total sense. But just going out there with our message sometimes, it's very raw. We have to learn. We have to do some homework. We have to really dig deeper within ourselves. What are we bringing forth? And I also see this so much with coaches. We stop learning. We think we've got it. And that is the worst thing you can do. Never stop growing. Never stop researching. Never stop accepting new ideas and seeing how it fits into what you're doing. Or maybe it just changes your idea. You are meant to evolve as a spirit. But also, you owe it to your clients to always evolve, to always be. I am constantly studying, constantly. I'm always listening to someone who I think could be a mentor. I'm always learning new concepts. And I think that's why my clients love who I am. And I'm actually growing into what they always knew I would be. Isn't that amazing? You'll find that with your clients too. You're listening to 30-Minute Moments, and I'm your host, Alena Chapman. Come right back, because we're going to go to that fear thing that somebody's been sending me.
This is 30-Minute Moments with Alena Chapman, helping you find your inner self every Sunday on WOWO and at WOWO.com.
Welcome back to 30-Minute Moments, and usually we have that wonderful, the shift. Well, I'm hoping this causes an aha moment for you, okay? Ever since I got up this morning, I mean, seriously, everything I put on the YouTube, fear. Everything I heard, fear. My mother called me, concern, which is another form of fear. Everything was fear, and I'm thinking, what is going on? So what I figure is somebody out there, maybe many of you, maybe it's a mass consciousness, is feeling fearful today. Now, that could be. We're having a lot go on in society right now. I get it. But let's talk about fear, because I feel like that's what you need. And that's my gift to you today. So fear. Fear is such a funny animal. You know, and we have so many ways that we get. What is fear? Fear is, you know, we've got the fear. I love this. They say, oh, but you have to have fear. Well, you do to a certain extent. Fear of touching the fire. Well, that's survival, folks. That's just survival. Fear because you'll get lost. Well, yeah, but when you do get lost, fear will kill you. And I know that because I did get lost on a mountain. So fear will kill you. It freezes you up. You can't do anything. So how do you deal with this fear? Because I'll tell you, when I was in New York, I was interviewing Elizabeth Gilbert of Eat, Pray, Love. We have a webinar with her in January. You might want to check that out because it's incredible what she said. And with this, but one thing really struck hard. In fact, I even went up and told her after the interview, I said, you are one of the bravest people I know. And because during that interview, she actually told me that every morning she wakes up with downright fear. You know, that freezing up fear every morning of her life. Now, I know that she's not the only one. And she has a way that she's always done it. And I found it very interesting because that's part of what I've always done. Fear is an animal that is learned. You know, we've got the survival stuff. You get your hand close to a fire, you feel that heat, you're going to pull away. You know, it's survival, and we learn our survival, and they say that's even tracked in our DNA. But the fear, we learn fear from a very early age. And we learn it from our parents, we learn it from the TV, we learn it from school. A lot of times the fear is even used to control us. Meaning, you stepped out of line? Well, you're going to get punished. You have to sit over in the corner. Fear of being punished. That's a fear. They just instilled fear in you to control you. Fear has been used in so many ways. You don't do the homework? Well, we're going to fail you, even though you're getting hundreds on your test. Fear. That's a punishment. We call it consequence, but it's fear. And we teach by fear. So by the time you're an adult, you have fear at every move you're going to make, every time you step out of that frickin' box. And it's gotten to be outrageous. Do you know we are the first society in history to have so much anxiety, and that they're actually calling anxiety now an epidemic? They didn't have anxiety. That's new. We created it. And that's all caused from fear, inactivity, you know, muddling around in your brain, all this fear, not being able to act. It's very bad dual thing. Not being able to act puts you in a victim, and you're muddling around in your brain, and you're just obsessed with whatever, the future or what you have to do or what you're worried about. And the funny thing is about fear It's usually not just one thing. And it's an incredibly strong energy because as you're muddling around in your mind, you actually think you're doing something. My mother's like that. For years, she would just worry and she thinks she's doing something, but nothing is being done. That's how strong an energy it is in you. But see, then it cripples you into anxiety. And then you're doing harm to your body. It affects as soon as that one thing gets resolved, you turn to another thing for fear because you're used to it. And then you turn to another thing for fear. And you start living on fear. So we have to break the cycle of fear. And I do think that when you are dealing with fear, sometimes just hitting it headlong is not going to work. That's why when I say when you do affirmations, don't do affirmations that are totally different. Okay, so if I've decided I want to become an international bestselling author, but I've never written a book. All right, let's use that example because I know that one. I was there. So what do? Do I just say, I'm an international bestselling author? No, I didn't start that way. I started with, I'm going to write the best I possibly can. I'm going to spend every day and write the best I possibly can and have fun with it. And that affirmation got me to sit down and actually do something. And then the law of gestation set in. And as I did it, baby steps. What about Bob? I got stronger. And I thought, okay, this is going to be a good book. Oh my gosh, I'm getting excited. Now I'm ready to say, I'm going to be an international bestselling author. Do you see? You have to go about it in a way that is believable for your subconscious mind and those beliefs. So that is only one way. And I want to talk more about this fear, but we do not have the time right now. But I'll tell you what, start to step forward. Build your soul because that will give you the strength to take that first step, no matter how incredibly small it is. You are listening to 30-Minute Moments, and I'm your host, Alena Chapman. And as you know, guys, I am here to bring that ease and betterment in any way I can with the guests, with what I can answer, anything to help your life feel that flow. Always remember, stay connected to Source or God, and always stay connected to the people around you.
This has been 30-Minute Moments featuring Alena Chapman. If you missed an episode, download it now at woo-oh.com.
Podcasts by Federated Media.